fear sells. It's addictive. And that's how people keep coming back to news networks, coming back to some of the podcasters that are always talking the doom and gloom story. This isn't a joke. It is all designed to be addictive and to keep you there. So if you know that, then don't play the game. That's by design. Everything is set up to essentially manipulate our attention and also our emotions. And of course, once you manipulate people's emotions, then you have really blocked the clear pathway to spirit.
Regina, welcome back to the podcast. It's so lovely to connect again.
It's lovely to see you too again, Guy. I had a wonderful time with you last time.
When we were talking literally off air as well, and you said, where should we take this conversation today? And I instantly came back to thinking about world-class basics. That's what I'm all about. And we seem to get lost in the noise. I mean, I know you've probably got a lot of thoughts and opinions on this, but the world is so noisy right now. There are so many distractions. And to me, it just feels like it's just keeping us disempowered and outside of ourselves.
Absolutely.
I wonder if you would speak to that. Yeah.
Sure, and disconnected from one another, not only ourselves, but one another. And we can drill down into all of those. And I told you I'd tell you a funny little story right at the top that's a reflection of what's going on. And this has to do with something entirely different. I got a new puppy and started watching puppy videos. And one of these couples who've been training puppies forever has these cute little bits on, how to stop your dog from chewing on your fingers and such, little 10, 11-minute things. And I came across this one video that was stern. She had her arms folded across her chest and he was sitting next to her. And they said, we need to talk. And I thought, and it was an hour long. I thought, I better take a look at this. Uh-oh, what do they want to talk about? And right at the top, they said, we have never in all our years seen dogs behaving so badly. They're just all over the place. They're unfocused. They're mean. They're not paying attention. And they said, we know what this means. A dog is a reflection of us. And that is true. And they said, and the dogs are not doing well. And there's no such thing, of course, as a bad dog, only bad dog owners. So I wanted to start there by saying, all of the sensual little beings around us are picking it up, even if we aren't. And I thought that was such a lovely thing to look at, especially as I have a new puppy, and just want to give her the most love and the most calm possible. But that's what we want to do for each other and for ourselves as well, not just our pets. So anyway, I thought that was really interesting and telling about where humanity is. And they were very concerned about humanity because they were having a very hard time with these dogs that were being given to them to train.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? My gosh. And when you look at the narratives at the moment, I mean, we've literally just gone through the whole narrative around the Spielberg movie, Disclosure Day. There's you've worked in the media a long time, obviously, and there just seems to be narratives that get pushed forward to perpetuate and create conversation. But to me, it feels like it's just keeping us distracted. I don't know what you think about that. And even the whole Disclosure Day kind of movement that's currently happening on the planet as well.
Yes. And, admittedly, I was involved in the original Disclosure with Stephen Greer back in 2001. That happened at the National Press Club, and he had spent 10 years of his life. He was an ER doc, but in his spare time, he spent 10 years of his life talking people in the military into coming forward with what they had actually had access to, evidence of, seen, and experienced themselves. And this was no small feat. It was actually a very big deal. It was a very highly attended event, both online and also media from around the world. And so it's not as though it's not time for disclosure. It is time for disclosure because our history has been hidden from us for a very long period of time. But instead, what's happening is those who do have a heavy hand controlling the world at large prefer to offer up a distraction form of disclosure. And it's really an entertainment, not just the movie, but disclosure itself. Because you have to keep looking through the layers further and further, and you get right back to the same being. So Anyway, I mean, yeah, it's a fun little romp. And yes, they had to finally admit, sure, things have been hidden from people. And aren't we being gutsy as a studio to show this? But the actual messaging toward the end in particular was, come on, guys, give me a break. I know a fair amount about the subject. So, no, just another distraction.
Another distraction. Is there, do you, I mean, you've spoke to so many people across, I don't know. I mean, do you know how many people you've interviewed in your time?
No,
No idea.
20 years
It-
worth nonstop.
And so you're
25.
constantly,
Yeah.
I mean, you're constantly sitting with people, and you're able to connect in the same space, and listen to their versions and their side of the truths, and the their experiences that they share. And it's not just a media based narrative that most people seem to be getting their information from, and then allowing that to drive and govern from a fear based place in their own lives. I mean, that's what seems to be happening at the moment.
Well, because
And
fear sells. Fear sells. It creates a type of neural networking that feeds on itself and that it wants more. It's addictive. Fear is addictive. And that's how people keep coming back to news networks, coming back to some of the podcasters that are always talking the doom and gloom story. It's not as though there aren't challenges. There are. But if we could all come together and talk about it, really a wise council of people, not beings, in a mature way, we'd say, yes, this is a challenge. This is not a challenge. It doesn't need our attention. And how do we deal with the things that are the most important as a species? That is not happening anywhere at all. It's not happening.
it's crazy. And the thing I get challenged by as well is within the kind of spaces that we move and walk and operating, there are narratives that actually create a fear-based response around
Yes.
even the spiritual movements as well. And then you can get caught into very deep conspiracy theories. And for me, it just feels like it's pulling me outside of myself. And then I get a sense of losing control again, where I believe all the wisdom and answers that if we are source, having a physical experience, then that is all actually within me. It's just being able to create space and time and remove fear to access that.
I couldn't agree with you more. One of the things, well, there are a couple things. One is being able to come together again. You talked about that earlier, my sitting with all these people and encouraging them and drawing them out on a myriad of topics. I don't even know, hundreds of different topics. That's one thing, is to come back together with each other. But as you just said, the essential truths are already within us. All we have to do is put ourselves in a cave for a week or two, and we can have a sense of who we are again. Just block all those. Caves are great. If you have a cave nearby, blocks all those signals. And you can start breathing, seeing where your mind is going. An interesting little exercise is for you to stop and say, okay, I'm going to be in the moment now. And then your mind hops to something. Say, okay, I'm going to bring it back. And then hops to something. And hops to start noticing where your mind goes. You can even write it down. This. And by the end of a minute, you're exhausted with all the places your mind has been. That's by design. Everything is set up to essentially manipulate our attention and also our emotions. And of course, once you manipulate people's emotions, then you have really blocked the clear pathway to spirit. Because I argue that emotional coherence, well, everyone says, when are we going to, join the galactic community and so forth? Well, we are. I mean, that's all happening. We're part of it. We're just not consciously part of it. And that has to do a lot also with the fact we are not a relaxed, calm species that can actually manage our emotions appropriately, because feel that when you do, when you feel that all is right in the world and the emotions are smooth and they're coherent, you find it's much easier to connect with yourself. But as soon as something is thrown out at you that is inconsistent with how you believe, or you feel is judgmental or angers you, boom, it pulls you right out of the possibility to connect with yourself, your higher self, and your heart, because that's what it's all about. And I think we talked about this a little bit in our last conversation, because we were speaking about The Future Human, the book that Lee Harris and I did, talking with the Z's. And the thing that they mentioned again and again is that in our future, the beauty of the human species, and Daryl Anka and I talked about this morning too, the beauty and the preciousness of the human species is that we are bringing heart and mind together. Automatically, the emotions are engaged in a more harmonious way when we're running our intelligence through our heart. And they said that combined with this incredible diversity and density and all of these five amazing and more senses is something you just, and like Daryl was saying that he learned from Bashar, and my soul group would say the same. We're a precious species. This isn't common throughout the universe to have this much availability, not just bioavailability, but the creativity, the plethora of choices that a person can and must make within a single day. This isn't normal. This isn't how most planets run. And for other beings who are here observing and watching this experiment, many want to know where this experiment's going to go because it's being contemplated in other quadrants of the universe. Other species are looking at how do you take a sensual being, a sensual, denser being, and bring it up into the highest frequencies of mind heart melding. And so anyway, we are precious. I am always arguing for the beauty of the human species. We've been made to believe that we're not beautiful. And even in that film Disclosure Day, spoiler alert, humans are made to feel less than and mean-spirited compared to these benevolent grays. Something's wrong with that message.
Yeah, I mean, like I was just saying to you, we just got back from Bali and we held space for a retreat. And we get, in the space of 5 days, we get to see the beauty of the human being, where all the judgment evaporates, the mind dissolves, and people are in a heart-centered space, and it becomes an embodied experience. And people really start to lean into that and feel into their inner wisdom, their inner knowing that's ever present. We just never give ourselves the time of day
We don't.
to honor that.
And our body is the truth teller. This amazing device we have. Everybody's afraid of AI. A lot of people are afraid of AI. Others are jumping in with both feet. I'm kind of cautious about it, but no, it's also going to be a positive part of our future and already is. But nonetheless, it cannot begin to compete with the complexity of the human mechanism. Just the body itself, no less, all of the subtle bodies that are layered in together into the physical. I mean, this is an incredible instrument we have here. It's incredibly sensitive and wise. And so to be able to use your body to begin giving you clues as to what's going on, is this for me? Is it not for me? If, like I said, you're in Bali, you can go to Bali, you can go to a cave, you can go to a retreat here near me in Nevada City at an ashram. You can go wherever you can to get quiet. Go camping. Just be in nature and just sit with your body and then contemplate some things, right? And immediately your body is telling you, ugh, feel like you've just been punched in the gut with that thought. Okay, noted. And the same thing when you feel your heart, this effervescent feeling in the heart, this bubbling up when you think about something else. There's your sign. The body has so much wisdom if we can just be quiet enough to listen to it. It's probably our most reliable device, certainly better than the mind. The mind has filters, and the mind is being manipulated.
Oh, amen to that. Yeah, I mean, if when I used to listen to my mind, my life was a mess. I've come a long way.
Good
It
for
took me,
you.
yeah. But there's a couple of points I want to raise, and then I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, because you spoke about it'd be interesting to see where this is all going, and it's almost like the whole universe is sitting around watching us, kind of thing, and this will be fascinating. Now, the other narrative is that if it's up to us, like I believe it's going to be on us, as through the connection of hearts and coming together, that we're going to shift consciousness.
Yes.
But there's narratives around, are the aliens going to land and show themselves, and that's going to be our savior. And there's narratives around AI is going to take over all our jobs, and then we won't have to go to work and do anything and money. Like there's all these narratives that are happening. But for me, it feels like it's constantly then in this waiting, stuck energy that's then perpetuating, and it's outside of ourselves, and we're shifting responsibility. The onus is actually on us as
Absolutely.
an individual.
I believe that 100%. And so to have the maturity to understand we're not alone It is probably time for that. So what? They've always been here. I mean, my soul group started talking to me about, they call them others. They're the people of Earth, and then there are others. They simply refer to all of them as others. And they say the others have been there a long time, and most of them came toward the very beginning of human development to help. They were assisting. Others have been helping all along, even as guides. Some have come to help on a biological level, and some are gathering some of our species just in case we do something silly. We don't want to lose certain of our species, and our biological species, including a lot of our fauna. And so they're taking samples of this and kind of examining it. Could it work in their own home place, or just make sure it's safe for the return to Earth if it does get tampered with in some way. So the vast majority of the contact, or even if we don't know about it, the presence of extraterrestrials on this planet, which have always been here. They've been here as long as we have, but there's a very clear understanding this is not their planet. They're here watching, observing, helping out most of the time, okay, even serving as guides, like I said, all cool. If you were able to look at this multidimensional universe, you would be shocked, not just at ETs, but what's in between the dimensions in our own fields of Earth. So it's a good thing that our minds are somewhat narrowed, because imagine what a monkey mind would look like if we could actually see everything around us, right? So, yeah, they're here, but they're not here to save us. But to be aware that there are other beings that have worked with us historically over a long period of time, some that do not have our best interests at heart, and how do you play out of their hands? It's not that hard. Everything you're talking about is what plays out of those hands. So yes, in the end, it doesn't matter. It's always going to be down to us, because this is our planet. This is the planet of human beings. Everyone knows that. That's why you don't see ETs walking down the street. Now, maybe in the future, there'll be some collaborations where we'll see some walking down the street with a science team, or who knows, a basketball team. But in the end, it's our planet, and it's for us to do this. And in Hermetic texts, I studied Hermetics for many years. And in the Hermetic texts, I still recall this one passage talking about how the angels who not oversee, even watch, observe, help when called upon, how they view human beings. They say a human being who has mastered the human path is far more advanced than an angel who never trod that path, because there's so much resistance here. An angel doesn't have to worry about mortality. It doesn't have to worry about stuffing everything they can do and learning it all in, 70, 80, 90, 100, soon to be 120 short years compared to essential immortality. We have mortality always kind of pushing at us if we let it, and we don't need to let it because we're immortal. But they have not walked the path in our shoes, trying to do all this in a human body, where the animal mind part of us does take over and become competitive. It's in fear. If it's afraid it's not going to have enough, overcoming those things, that's what the angels bow to, they said.
Wow, that is so powerful. I've never thought of it like that before.
Yeah.
And on my personal journey, these experiences have been opening up through going inward and meditation, and feeling that expansiveness of consciousness, and that healing within the body. It's almost like there's parts of me that weren't mine, or they've been passed through, or through trauma,
Yes.
or through ancestral or past lives, whatever term it is. But it's like this energy has been locked, and as that's moved, it's allowed me to connect deeper and deeper with myself, and start to have more and more of these experiences that but inform me that I can then bring into my everyday life. It's not a case of running away to try and have these experiences so I don't have to deal with my everyday life. And I think that's where a lot of people fall into. They go for the performance and the experiences, which is great. I mean, we all want to experience life, but at the same time, it's then how does that then show up in our everyday life? How are we going to embody that and bring that wisdom in through our choices and actions, and how we navigate each day?
Absolutely. I mean, even if you can only find half an hour alone in the bathroom without the kids, in your hair, whatever it takes to be able to just get a tiny bit of quiet and just to breathe into yourself and feel yourself and let your heart pump out and expand for all the things that are beautiful in your life, all the things that you're grateful in your life. Gratitude is an incredibly high frequency. It doesn't take a long time for us to just close our eyes, drop into our day, and just feel what we're grateful for. Just think about it a little bit, and it's just look how fast it lifts you up. That's what we're looking for right now, to be able to move out of all the distraction and what looks like kind of dark forces trying to, wag us by the tail. That's really what's required, is anything that you do within the day that can take you to a higher frequency range, whether it's just being with someone you love, playing with your kids, playing with your puppy, whether it's making something beautiful, whether it's picking some flowers and arranging them. It doesn't really matter. All of those things that bring that subtle sense of joy are taking you into a higher vibratory field that is genuine. It's from you. It's connected. It's through the things you desire. That's really important. Beauty is a thing that is way overlooked. And granted, it's in the eye of the beholder. But whatever it is we perceive of as beautiful also needs to be brought back into life. I mean, certainly in the Renaissance period, they understood how important beauty was to the lifting of the soul and the connection with the soul. So I would say any opportunity to bring a little bit of beauty. I love flowers. I can be flat broke, but if I can rub together 2 pennies, I'll buy a little bouquet of flowers and put it in the middle of the table so that I have something beautiful that I'm passing by all the time. It doesn't take a lot. It's whatever it is to you. And again, your relationships with people. And to me, that's the saddest part of this time, is how our relationships with others have been so fractured. And I mean, in my job, I am able to, when I'm at Gaia, I'm able to sit across from everyone. And I designed my desk in this interesting paisley shape, and so that I could be as close as possible to the guests so we could feel each other's feelings. And my job is to simply open my heart and be in the presence of that person. Yeah, I've got a script that I've already researched and put together and all that, but that's second to the fact I just open up and love them. I just pump up, feel the love, and that person relaxes, and then they want to go into union with you. They want to share. And this is the thing we've forgotten how to do with each other. And it's really simple, because one of the big problems is, with all the noise you're talking about, is that everybody's talking and really nobody's listening. Very little listening going on.
I
Blah,
got
blah, blah, blah,
goosebumps.
blah.
Yeah.
And if we can be with someone that we may not even agree with, maybe we have a wounded relationship with, a friend, a member of our family, I can guarantee you, if you can sit down, feel your heart, and just listen, you can start healing the relationship and coming back together. But everyone's so darn defensive and has so much to say, they're like gagging to get the words out, to be validated somehow, because that's what the world is demanding of them. No, not a good way to go. Best thing you can do is just kick back, ask some questions, and let someone reveal themselves, open up, come toward you again. I mean, if we started doing this with each other all the time, we could actually heal things pretty fast. But we're getting some kind of juice, not good juice, out of this separation, about this judgment of each other. Not healthy, doesn't serve the soul whatsoever, and it's not natural that's not what our body's saying. That's all from here.
That is profound. Honestly, it's interesting. There's a few things I want to just highlight. One is when people ask me, what has podcasting taught you? And I say to listen is to hold space and listen from a heart-based place.
Yes.
And, through years of repetition, it's like, I'm a bit slow, but I finally get I finally get it. That was the first thing. And the second thing is I've always said judgment is the handbrake to the divine. It's like the moment we're there, we're just severing that, and we're just not in a state of this presence and being, because we're so caught up in the mind. Do you feel
right? That's what my guides told me 30, 40
Yeah.
years ago. I was asking
Okay.
them these questions, and I said to my soul group, my main teacher, I said, so what is the greatest impediment to human beings being able to rise up into this higher state of consciousness? And they said, judgment. Judgment. They said, if you let go of judgment, that one thing, just let go of judgment, be open to what is. You don't have to buy into it, just be open and let go of judgment. Your world would heal very fast. So you're absolutely right on.
Wow. And it's so simple. It's so simple, but yet so challenging. Do you feel that in this world of perpetuation of fear and authority, that we're just simply addicted to it, and we've just found our way in this place as there's technological advancements?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
just
yeah.
kind of going in that direction, and something's either going to break or we're going to break through. I'm standing here right now in Lake Taupo in a beautiful retreat space. And there's a vast difference between an intellectual experience and passive listening to a fully embodied lived experience. Because that's what retreats can do. They can help you land, start to truly reconnect to yourself, to others, to nature, and to spirit as well. There's so much in it. That's why we created Live in Flow, and that's why we are so passionate about getting this work out there and bringing people together. If you want to find out more when our next retreat or event is coming up, just check out the link below. And now, back to the podcast.
Well, we have to make a decision. I mean, it's not just going to happen. It could happen, and that we could get so depressed and all the drugs that deal with depression aren't working anymore, that we have to look at things differently. Or we can be a little bit more proactive and say, you know what? I'm being manipulated. I'm not watching the news anymore. If I want to know what's going on in the world, at least the surface view of it, pick up a magazine or maybe open your app and read the headlines and put it down. I mean, even the scrolling, doom scrolling, like on Instagram and YouTube Shorts, I don't indulge in it for a good reason, because I'm super attentive in the moment and I just keep going and going and going because I'm totally in the moment. And but I was recently on vacation in France, and a few evenings there was nothing to do, and I picked my phone up and started scrolling. And I started, after about, I'd say half an hour, 45 minutes, I started feeling sick to my stomach. And I thought, I don't know what's going on here. This is not good. I felt like I was just being dragged from one thing to the next, and it was making me, because I'm sensitive about these things, it was making me physically sick. And I thought, that's it. I know what it is now. I don't want to do it anymore. And so here we have billions of people scrolling every day now and taking them wherever that algorithm wants you to go. Yeah, you can program your algorithm to have nothing but puppies, like mine right now. It's true. But even watching enough puppy videos, you want to throw up after a little while. The repetitious nature of it and just talking at you. So, no, this is a choice. And yes, we have been manipulated into this state. So if we're engaging with technology, it doesn't matter if it's television, video streaming, social media, it's all designed for one reason. Like the guy that was what was he for Facebook? Something about this social engineer or whatever. I've forgotten. Tristan, someone, that was a wonderful film about Facebook. Anyway, he said, no, this was 10 years ago. He said, we designed the algorithms for one thing, to keep you on your device as long as possible. And that documentary, if you can find it, can't remember the name of it, look for it, tells you everything. And it shows the way it manipulates teenagers, what it puts in front of them, how it gets into their accounts. It scans for someone they like because they can see repeat views, and it pops it up in front of them as though there's a message from them. That's one thing. That was back then. It's worse now. The horrid things that are programmed to keep you addicted to that screen, just looking in your hand instead of looking up, looking out, and seeing what's really going on. So yes, I think we have absolutely been manipulated into this state. And it takes a bit of strength and a little bit of discipline. I love video streaming at night. I found some beautiful series I love, but I can tell when I'm also, it's not good anymore. It's taking up too much of my mental emotional space. So we have to each find what that is and be very careful about it. This isn't a joke. It is all designed to be addictive and to keep you there. So if you know that, then don't play the game. Just be very selective about what you do. And that's I really, right now, today, probably the first step for most human beings is get off the devices as much as you can and get back into your own life, your own body, your family, your friends, everything you love. Get back into it, and you may have let it go so long there's not much there. People aren't talking to each other at the dinner table anymore. They're all like this, right? So someone has to be bold enough to start reconstructing those relationships, even if it is, like we said, just starting to ask questions when everybody seems to be self-absorbed.
Totally, totally. There's no heart-centered people designing these applications and doing things.
No.
Otherwise they'd operate so very differently, wouldn't they? I mean,
No, they're not
it's
meant to
crazy.
enchant us. They're meant to addict us. People can find each other enchanting, but no, not algorithms from AI. Mm-mm.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's interesting. Just you only have to stop and observe. Like yesterday, I cycled over to my local coffee shop, and it's one of those where you go up to the counter to order, and there was about 5 or 6 people deep, and every single one of them was on their phone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just waiting in queue. You could be
Families.
waiting for a friend. Families, they come in and they're just on their phone. Like it's, can you just sit with yourself and be here?
No, that you
Right.
see the problem. It's everywhere. It doesn't matter what country you're in, doesn't matter what city you're in. This is a vast, vast problem. And if we don't knock it off, then AI will have its say. We don't want
Yeah,
that. We do not
yeah,
want that. We have so much to offer as human beings. Our creativity is being greatly, greatly reduced at the moment because of our addiction to any kind of media and devices. We're not creating anything. We're not going and dancing. We're not making music. We're not making conversation. We're not doing anything. And so if we keep that up, that trend does not bode well. And right now we have a lot going on to kind of shake up the world astrologically. And this month of July is the big one, as you know, and all of the astrologers, Vedic and tropical, are talking about it. And it's a time of great revelation. And one of the astrologers was saying one of the things he sees happening is that something that we trust will break and will no longer be trustworthy. Now, as above, so below. So if that's going to be what's coming up later on in July, I don't know when this will air, then we need to be aware in ourselves. Is there something been buying into that is no longer satisfactory and has revealed itself to not be beneficial for us? As above, so below, institution wide and individually. So I think if we can include in part of this the revelation to ourselves that we need to connect with one another and get creative again, like I said, I mean, probably the best thing you can do is just get out on a camping trip in the woods or by the sea or something where you're sitting around a campfire and you don't have your phones. Just talk to each other and see how good that feels again. Now, I know I'm speaking to the choir because a lot of your people are probably already on to this, but they need to share that with others as well. We are diminishing our species' intelligence and creativity by what we're doing. And if we continue, AI is going to have the dominant voice in the end. And we are at a turning point where we choose who's going to run this show, humans or AI. Now, Steve Judd, a British astrologer who I quite like, he was talking about how he doesn't want to see, a lot of people say, let it crash and burn, I'm ready for all the change. He's saying, ideally, you want to be more mature than that. You don't really want it all to crash and burn. You want it to start maturing and transforming one bit here, one segment there, and grow something new together rather than burning it down without a plan. So just rebelling to rebel isn't very smart either. You have to have a plan in your own life and at large about how we're going to take this forward together. So I happen to agree with him. And the Z's said something similar as well. They said it's not all going down at one time. That's not going to happen. Even your financial systems, it won't be as bad as many people think is going to come down the line. So with Stephen Judd saying the 24th of this month of July 2026, as the big gateway to blowing the doors off what's been hidden and having the truths reveal themselves and something we trusted now becoming something we no longer need or no longer want, I think is important. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I wasn't aware of the 24th of July, but
That
yeah.
he's a Vedic. Is he Vedic? No, that was a Vedic astrologer. I think he has it right around. They all have it like around the end of July. All of them. It's just within a few days, Vedic and Western. Yeah,
Yeah, no, you see the narratives and the conversations, they're all kind of pointing and leading towards the same thing. Like
they are.
it just has to happen, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's fascinating. But surely, I mean, maybe I'm too romantic, but we're going to get tired of it, like as a species, tired of the AI, like the things that AI is perpetuating coming up straight away now. I feel it and go, oh, I just don't even want to look at it. Like it's just annoying.
It is annoying. Everything kind of plastic and fake, and including people who aren't willing to be themselves anymore. They're trying to play a role of some kind rather than be themselves. And that's always been, but that's increased with social media. People are playing roles much more than they have before. And there has to be, and some people are burning out and saying, I'm sick of it. I'm done. I'm quitting this account. I can't look at another one of these. And the more people that do that, then more the others will follow. And I think that's great. And a lot of the younger people, for example, I'm a little embarrassed, but gosh, I got into this situation with my dear nephew this last weekend because I was in San Sebastian, Spain, and I heard these teenagers, maybe 13, 14, 15, on the boardwalk there at that magnificent beach. And they were playing some music, and I thought, oh my God, that's beautiful. I have to know what it is. So I went over to them and they thought, what's this lady doing coming at us? Like they were afraid. And I said, no, no, I just like to know what you're playing. And they showed me their cell phone. So I wrote it down and put it on and just listened to it out on the bay. The rest of the trip, I'm still listening to it. But then I found out it was AI. The group was AI. And it's quite the rage right now. There are people all over the world that are saying, how could it make me feel like that in my heart if that's AI? I couldn't tell. How could they get? And one kid was
Oh,
on doing his commentary on it on Instagram saying, Man, how can it make me feel like this? Yeah, that's interesting because I had been looking and looking for my new music. I every now and then in big changes in life, I need new music and it signifies it and reminds me of it. I couldn't find any new music. It's all the same stuff, same garbage that's being produced by 5 producers in the US. Same stuff canned, and it's not sounding beautiful. Nothing is catching me. And finally, something catches me, and I find out it's AI. Millions of people have just found out it's AI. And they're like, oh my God, I don't want to support this trend. But I have to admit, it's the first one that made me feel music in quite a while that way. What do you do? And so I brought it up to my nephew. I said, I don't know how you feel about this, but I don't really engage much with AI, but I came across this music. And he said, that's where I draw the line. We don't talk about it. I don't talk to my wife about it. I don't want to hear about it. I do not listen to AI music. And he got up and walked out of the room. And I thought, well, good. I mean, good. Then start making you guys, whoever, musicians, need to say, screw the big recording companies because they're under the same control as the Pentagon and everything else. Get out from under that control, musicians. And it means that musicians have to start really getting into it, playing and start coming out with their friends and playing, going to cafes and playing. That I would highly encourage people with musical talent, just get out there and sing. Don't wait for someone to buy into you or a recording label, for heaven's sakes, and start making music again. Because I thought it was pretty crummy that I couldn't really, and I listen to a lot of, on Spotify, I'm always scrolling to find something that catches my heart. And this caught my heart, and it was AI. So I don't know if it had a human producer because no one can find out who it's from. I hope it was a human producer.
fascinating. Yeah. We could very easily lose our creativity. It's like when I was speaking to Greg Braden earlier in the year, he spoke about, yeah, you only have to look at the calculator. The moment the calculator came in
That's right.
and everyone stopped using maths.
Yes.
And I can't go much past multiple and adding a few things up, without pulling these things out where
Well, I
that
never
wasn't the
could,
thing.
so I didn't lose anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, that's
I hear you, but
fascinating.
no,
Yeah.
he's right. He's right on, and so many people are out there talking about the same thing now in their own voice and in different ways and offering various suggestions. But where you started to begin with, which is to take some time to just check in with your body. How am I doing? How am I feeling? Can I feel my heart? And see what it's like
Yeah.
to, and I think we talked about this last time, to take a situation, something that's bothering you, and run it down and just drop it down into your heart. Just breathe a little bit, drop it into your heart. See what your heart has to say about that compared to what your head just said. Fascinating to do, especially if you can catch yourself and do it fairly often. You start seeing, whoa, the heart has such pure intelligence. The heart doesn't succumb. It does not have the same filters the mind has. It will see things so much more clearly and compassionately. So that's why when the Z's were talking about our species going to using our mind with and through our hearts, whole other level of discovery and creativity.
Yeah. Where do you feel it's all going? Like, because there's a vast talk around this time, especially right now, and it's kind of been the narrative, especially post COVID, and coming in. Some will say up to 2032. There's all these narratives that we're going through the great change, but I'm not so sure. I don't know if it's just like you say, it's just going to gradually move into a direction, and we're going to find ourselves, 10, 15, 20 years down the line, just naturally in a different space, either moving towards our hearts or we've moved towards AI, or
Well, that's a good question because one of the things that constantly comes up, and it's something I started noticing about 20 years ago, and it's intensifying year by year, is that I do believe that this is not a one size fits all, that we are going into a bifurcation process in terms of human consciousness, meaning we are splitting apart. I don't think that I don't think anyone could really argue that. There are people who are now starting to ask the finer questions and who are choosing the journey of going into the heart. And there are those people who are choosing absolutely against it. More hatred, more division, and they're going to go down with the ship because it makes their ego feel good. So I do think it depends on your own level of consciousness. You can probably think of a few people around you that you're worried about, that may be going in the other direction, and it's okay. I have a whole different perspective on it from my soul group from years ago, when, in fact, Dolores Cannon, in some of her regressions of people, came up with this as well, that there's not just one Earth. This is a multi-dimensional planet, as all are. And there are other versions of Earth. And there's another one that has been created for this time, according to my soul group, and where we're from, things look different than normal. And this is not a bad thing. It's a thing that was always known that was going to come, where there would be a time where there would be human beings that would start rising very quickly in the remembrances of who they are, and others wouldn't catch that wave at the same time. In fact, there would be much against them to make sure they stayed low, and that their emotions and that their judgment toward one another and their behavior toward one another would stay on the low side. And we're seeing that. Those are the influences that are working against humanity right now. You either buy into that or you don't. The ones who have chosen not to, who have chosen their heart, who have chosen love, who have chosen beauty, creativity, and every day you know them, you're one of them. You meet them, you feel them, and they're uplifting to you, and you're uplifting to each other. That's one path. And my understanding, and this was something I really didn't ask in the day, but which earth? Which earth? And because the earth we're on right now is shifting her own frequencies, we've all heard about this for a long time now. She's already in the upward trajectory of refining herself, going into another subdimensional area in terms of frequency. And so you can't incarnate on any planet if you're not a vibrational match for it. So that means to me, the people that are choosing to refine their frequencies, to move upward, choose love. I don't mean that as a bumper sticker. I mean genuinely choose love. You're going to go with the earth, with this earth. And this is a magnificent being, this earth. I love our earth. I love it. And so do people from all over the universe love this earth. There's so much beauty in it, so much opportunity for experience and learning. So if you don't want to go that way, my beings explained to me again decades ago, another earth is there, and the time of that bifurcation has started. The time of the division of families on a soul karma level has started, where some will continue on with this earth, some people will continue on with the other. And each way, it doesn't matter which way, each group learns faster because you're being reinforced with more of the same. If you've really worked on love and harmony and creativity, you're going to be among people that are wired the same way. And I said, so what's that earth look like in the future? They said, similar to what it is now, but more harmonious. People understand each other and work well together. And the other earth is where you still work out, they said, the kindergarten lessons, which is thou shalt not steal, beat up, rape, etc. You don't do those things. And that you learn best when you're among other people who do those same things and say, ow, this doesn't work for me anymore. They said no soul is trapped on earth or any version of earth. Any soul can go wherever it wishes as long as its frequencies can merge with that place. That's all. It's just a frequency game. And so if someone has been on the earth that is still learning the kindergarten lessons and has been bruised and battered, and now it's just they're too tired to even perpetuate something against someone else, and they say, I give, this doesn't work, their guides are right there and ready to say, okay, why don't you do a loving gesture towards someone and start elevating out of that into the higher new frequencies. My beings were explaining to me there's nothing but grace in all of it. There's nothing but time to learn. So there's no judgment if someone is learning slower or someone's learning faster. It's practical.
That's a beautiful explanation. I haven't really heard it like that. That's got my brain working as well as it should stay in my heart. The thing that is coming to mind is, funnily enough, might be the male side of me, because I was like chatting to Howard Martin. I've had Ron McCready on here from HeartMath as well and things, and they talk about, the earth field and that torus of energy and that conscious, obviously Mother Gaia is a living soul, and that energy is rising like a rising tide. But this part of me is like, well, why aren't we all getting swept up with it? Why aren't we all kind of just
You are.
allowing us? We are,
You
but
are.
but many are burrowing down into
That's happening too. That's
3D.
happening too.
Yeah.
Some people are not ready for that. They're just not ready for it yet. They're still attached to old people, old stories, old situations, old behaviors, and they don't want to let go. They're holding like this. And the structure is encouraging that. So the people that are breaking free are the ones that are going against the dominant structure.
Yeah, fair enough.
Again, I mean, the ones that are controlling, not the real I won't even call not the real force, that incredible consciousness that's moving through our cosmos and through our planet and through every single living thing on the planet and other planets. I mean, that incredible consciousness is permeating all of us, and some are drinking it or eating it with a big spoon and loving it and rising up and saying, yeah, I want to spend a little more time meditating or with my kids or something. They're getting it, where others are repelled by it, and they are being manipulated and they're being repelled by it.
Yeah.
Not everybody's ready for it just yet. It's okay.
It is okay. It is okay. Even though I want the best for everyone, it's okay.
I know, I do too, but it's okay. We all learn at our own speed.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. Couple of personal questions while we go into the podcast as well is, if you had to, and I'm curious as a podcaster, if you had to just take the footnotes of your learnings from being around people all the time and submersed in this work and being in a heart-centered space, from interviewing all the people that you have in your own time and obviously being interviewed, Like, what have been the key takeaways for you that you've applied in your own life that have really been, wow, because I've been doing this, this has allowed me to be doing this?
I would say not just to have an open mind, but to have an open heart so that we can go into a state of acceptance. I mean, for me, I tend to be wired that way anyway, to a large extent, but I've had a lot of people kind of nourish that and validate that in my younger years, in particular, in some of the interviews I had done where they brought up very specific ways in which we can do this. But I mean, living in the moment, that we are the creators, and we're not saying that in an egotistical sense. We have chosen as creative beings to live in companionship with Mother Earth and with each other here now. Other times we've been other places, and we have all kinds of possibilities. This is crazy. And to me, I think the most mind-blowing, let's talk about the most mind-blowing thing, had more to, again, with Hermetic teaching and physics and quantum physics, that nothing we see, nothing we touch is solid. There's nothing there on an atomic level. If you could look at anything on an atomic level, quite literally break it down under the most powerful microscope in the world, there is nothing there. There are just a few little bits of energy, particles floating around in space. So what is everything else? And that was my question long ago. If there's no here, if there's no mass, and I remember being taught that by a fellow in the Black Forest in Germany, a wild physicist, brilliant man back in the 90s, early 90s. No, you don't understand. There is no mass. And I thought, what? So that took me down some roads. And I think to learn that there is no mass here, this is a matter of a perception that we have all on Earth collectively agreed upon, that we're going to, in this third density, have what's perceived as mass. But in fact, all there is consciousness. Our consciousness interfacing with the field around us, and we are it. The field is us. We're the field, right? So to understand, it's all our own feelings, thoughts, it's our own creativity, it's our own soul. We're creating this reality. Truly, if you look around, you created the whole thing. You bought into it on 1,000 levels and 1,000 little decisions you don't even remember making. So I think that was the most mind-blowing thing to me, that everything is nothing but consciousness. And the consciousness has shifted. It is now in a much more refined state than it has been probably in hundreds of thousands of years here on the planet.
Love it. It's fascinating. Like, I love what you say about an open mind and open heart. And as I've explored, there's been many things that have challenged me along the way. Like, no, come on. Like I mentioned to you off air when you had that conversation with Jerry Wills a long time ago on Gaia, the cafe at the end of the universe, and he was talking about this interdimensional place where beings from all around come and meet. And he's saying he'd been there. And I was like, like it stretched my mind so far beyond anything I could have heard at the time. But for some reason, it sat with me ever since. And then as I've gone into deeper states of meditation and holding space, more and more interesting things are opening up. And I think it's just being open to possibility, whether you believe it or not, but just being open is being...
Yeah, being open. You can reserve the right to buy into it or not buy into it.
That's right.
There's no pressure. But to have an open mind, the bottom line is we have to have an open mind now to be able to move smoothly into this next iteration of what we are becoming as human beings, which is more refined. But you can't do it with a closed mind stuck to every old thing and old way and thought you've had. It just doesn't work. So yeah, open-mindedness is critical. But if you pair that with the heart, heart and mind together, that's a good thing. You can feel your way through it and see if there's truth in it.
Yeah, for sure. And what have practices have helped you in your own life to navigate through life? Like, are there any go-to things that you use on a daily basis, or do you have a morning routine, or is it just things that you just grab that you kind of know when
Yeah,
needed.
I mean, I live uh, kind of differently than a lot of people, I think. I do tend to live in the now for good and bad. I'm pretty much present in the moment, meaning a few moments later that presence is gone. That moment left. I truly living in the now has upsides and downsides. I tend to live in the now. So my life is very much kind of feeling my way through every day. I don't really develop habits, which is not a good thing, but it's not a bad thing, you know? So I'm always moving through, I think you would say, just energetically responding to what's presenting itself in the moment. I'm not very aggressive about kind of driving my moments, but I do get things done. I do say on my calendar, I've got a deadline here, I'll get it done. But other than the mandatory things I have to get done, my day is really spent responding to things and then just chasing whatever that thing is that I just saw in my head. But as a practice, if I ever get confused about something, I sit down, get really, really quiet, and then I rise up and I speak with my soul family. I say, tell me what's going on. And they'll show up and they're honest with me. They don't baby me. And that's what I do to straighten myself out if I should find myself off for some reason. But in addition to all of that, whenever I do it, I think one of the most wonderful things to do, I just love doing it. It's just that I'm not habitual with anything, is gratitude. Just, I'm so grateful for this. Oh, I love this. Oh, they're so sweet. You know, I do that.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. And just to wrap up the podcast, we've covered. Is there anything you want to leave with the listeners? Like we've covered quite a number of things there. Actually, I didn't even touch my notes talking about being in a heart space. We just had a
Oh,
conversation.
we've
But
traveled far, my friend. We've done a lot together today. I think everything we've talked about, just in summary, disconnect from those things that are kind of making you nauseous and overwhelmed. Just disconnect from them. They're not real. They're artificial. It's all artificial. It's a game being perpetuated against humanity by those who want to remain in control of humanity and not see us grow to our full potential. That's not just a story. In fact, all of the groups that channel, and as you know, I interview quite a few of them, all of them are talking about it now. Even the sweetest, most gentle beings and people are saying, look, you've been under the influence of some not very helpful forces, and you should know that now, and don't play their game anymore. Disconnect, look into each other's eyes, go to dinner together, put your phones down, and ask each other questions. Simple, simple, simple things. That, gratitude, a little bit of nature, that's all we have to do. These aren't Herculean efforts. It's rejecting the control system as much as you can, while at the same time totally embracing your own authority. And the body knows. The body knows, the heart knows. So I'd say to just
beautiful.
remember that.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, Regina.
You're
Where
so,
where can where can we send people if they want to
oh, well,
find
let's
out
see.
more? Yeah,
I
you
started
got a
doing
few
a little,
places.
I started doing a little Instagram. I think it's called Regina Meredith Official or something. So I have my little thoughts on this and that there. Took me a long time to get on board with it. I'm not a social media person, but a little bit of that. But then this reginameredith.com that has all my shows, interviews, commentaries. And that's all on my YouTube channel as well. It's all free, available, no paywall for anything. So yeah, those are the best ways. And of course, Gaia. I'm on Gaia, and that's at Gaia.com. And we got tons of interviews there that are just amazing. It is behind a paywall, but it's worth it.
Yeah. When I think of Gaia, I think of you always.
Thank you. I
Like
appreciate that.
with all the shows and all the people, everything on there. Like Gaia came into my sphere a long time ago, but yeah, when I think of Gaia, I think of you. And that's a testament to you
So
and your
I'm there.
work. I
I'm your
mean,
poster girl for Gaia.
yeah, it's true. It's amazing, mate. Yeah,
Oh,
honestly, you're absolute joy to spend time with, and
oh, and so are you.
I really appreciate you. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Regina.
Thank you, Guy. You're doing the good work.
I'm doing my best. That's for
Yep.
sure. Yeah,
Thank you. It's
yeah.
been fun.
Th- Thank you, my lovely.